Good morning, good morning. Let me make sure this is all working. Yeah, sure. You can hear me, right? Just want to make sure you can hear me.
While I'm doing that, let me make sure I upgrade to that. There we go.
Let me go ahead and post everything out, and then we'll go ahead and look at the market here. Yeah, okay, good. Perfect. Let me go and post this in here. How's your morning going? Post it there. Let's post it here as well. There we go. Should be good to go. Got a lot of work, unfortunately. Well, I guess that'll keep you busy, but that does suck. All right. Unplug this. We should be good to go here. All right. So, hope you guys are all doing well. Let's kind of just go over everything. Kind of what I am looking at. Make sure this is, there we go. Kind of what I'm looking at. So, I am short the ES. This is something I posted on the website. The live trades section is live and running. So, in the back end, I push my entries and I put the chart in all my notes, and this gets pushed to the site. You can enable notifications on the bell so you can get notified up in here about the trade. If you're on the site, you'll get notified with like a sound, or you can get it sent to your email as well. You just gotta check that box. So I'm short the ES. This is something I posted last night around the futures open. Kind of gave the reasons for me being short, and then just provide this chart and kind of what I'm looking at. So kind of going back at the chart, let's look at what we have here and why I am short currently. I am going to look to manage this position. We do have about 18 minutes before the open, so let's kind of go over everything here. So I've been bearish more on the Nasdaq than ES, but recently I kind of switched just because of how ES is trading and how the other sectors in that index have been trading. Tech has been weak, but it's been holding up relatively well compared to like the S&P and compared to the Dow and compared to the Russell, because tech, it's just such a monopoly market right now where even when you have all this uncertainty going on, they have the leverage to be able to survive it, where a lot of these other companies don't really have that leverage. So I think that plays a part in the S&P weakness. So the price action we've seen this week has been very up and down. I mean, it's been, you're up. Let's just look at the weekly price action here where the market dropped. So on the week, the market dropped, continued through London, traded all the way back up, reversed that whole gap, and then traded to above this swing high here on the S&P. Same thing with the Nasdaq, right? And then you got a drop all the way back down to the low of the week, and then the market stopped at the low of the week, traded all the way back up to the high of the week, right? So the price action we're seeing here, and that's on the Nasdaq. On the ES, you did not trade to the high of the week, right? So there's your ES. ES did not trade the high of the week. Nasdaq did. So that kind of shows the strength as well, the relative strength with the Nasdaq compared to the S&P, with the Nasdaq being able to trade to the high of the week. With that said, it's been a very interesting week. And this is like the type of price action. One, it can be good for a trader. It's definitely a trader's environment. The volatility is there, but it's the type of environment where people will switch their bias and you don't want to be constantly switching your bias in the market. You need to have a game plan. And so my game plan, and this is something I talked about here, and this is why I entered short, I will continue to play this side of the market and sell into rallies. Right? What we're seeing this week, I still think the market trades lower. That's kind of my bias. I think we are headed for a move continue down here. I think the Nasdaq's heading towards your lows from November. I think the S&P is obviously going to follow the Nasdaq, and the Nasdaq's going to fall. Maybe get an old retest of the old highs here. You have some old gaps from like May. I don't know if you get all the way down there, but there's levels to the downside where I think we could trade to. And that is kind of what I'm trying to align myself with, and that is what we are playing with the ES, and that is why we're short the ES. So again, if you aren't, I know, Azim, I know you signed up for it, but if anybody else is in here or anybody watches this, if you're not signed up for this, it's totally free, but I got this fully set up, the live trades. All right. And when I close trades, it'll be updated. When I make updates on the trade, I will update it, and you'll get notifications sent to you when things are updated. So I just wanted to showcase that. With that said, we have about 14 minutes before market open. Let's go ahead and pull up MES. We'll keep the NASDAQ on the left, and then we'll see how we will manage this. Yeah, I've been liking that part of the site. It's cool to see it. Yeah. I'll probably, if you have any suggestions of what I should add, let me know. I have some other things I want to add. I want to make more of a educational section, like for people that aren't up to date with everything, or maybe they're new to trading and they kind of want to learn the basics. I want to make a section like that. And then there's something else I wanted to add. I have it in my notes. I just forgot about it. So here's the, let's pull up this. So right now, ES making a low of day. That'd be awesome. Maybe a Q&A section would be cool. That's a good idea too. I'll add that to the notes. There's something else. Q&A is a good idea. The educational section. I'm trying to think what else there was. There's something else. I just can't remember it right now. Let's take a look at so Nasdaq's on off here. Let's take a look at see what the dollar's doing. Dollar, nothing too interesting here on the 15-minute chart. At least nothing really clear. Emerging markets down pre-market. Had a rally yesterday's trading, but down pre-market. Russell obviously taking a hit. German 40 reversing the gains from London. UK 100. The FTSE trading lower. Nikkei trading lower. Gold, pretty big move down there on the 15-minute, but kind of just in a range. Silver, same thing. There's the NASDAQ making a low of day. Let me go ahead and open up the dashboard too so I can update everybody here if I decide to take some partials off as we head into the open. I don't think I have an option to do that. I probably should have added that. Live trades, low trades, edit. Okay, so I can't do that. Okay. So we'll see here. Yesterday's market was pretty interesting too. I didn't expect the rally, to be honest. I thought we'd, again, I haven't really expected any of these rallies, but you just got to survive these rallies that happen in the market. Like if you're expecting the market to ultimately trade lower to the downside, obviously you're going to have rallies. In this market, it's been very heavily by the dip. It's always been like that, especially, I would say, since investing has gotten more popular. The narrative of just buy the dip has increasingly gotten more popular, and people just buy the dip. Even though I don't really see this as a dip right now. I mean, the markets are still pretty close to the highs. They're not really too far off if you look at the daily chart. But I think that's maybe what's caused these rallies. I'm just not too sure. All right, so the market is at the low of the day. Traded the low of day. So here's our low of day right here at 6835.75. I really just want to continue to see this 5-minute just trade lower, and for this daily bar to continue to expand. In terms of like a level, though, I don't really have anything too interesting to look for. I mean, we can look at maybe regular trading hours. Look at the 15-minute. Obviously, that's the big gap down there. I just don't see anything interesting. I don't usually like to look for levels to look for take profits, just because like you'll start to see levels just to try to get out of the trade. But I do want to look for something that maybe will cause. We had the weekly open here, so maybe that's something to look at. That's actually something we'll do. I'll take one off at the weekly open if we can get a move down there off the open in like 9 minutes. Let me look at the weekly open here on the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ much further off the weekly open there. Move a little bit at that. Let's see. Give me 1 second here. And if anyone has any questions about anything, let me know. Questions about why enter the trade, hopefully that makes sense. Kind of what I'm looking at in terms of the downside. There's the YM selling off. Pretty much reversed all of yesterday's gains. I mean, it did reverse all of yesterday's gains. Had a move during London. The YM is at the weekly open. Look at this weekly candle. Just a bunch. This tells you right here there's just a bunch of indecisiveness in the market. Just seeing a weekly candle like this. From 718 to 7911. I mean, this weekly range is 2.8%. I mean, that is a huge weekly range. Obviously, I will move my stops here to break even. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let me come back. Are you long on this trade? Are you long? No, no, I'm short. I'm short from 6880. This is a short that was put on here last night. Yeah, short. I haven't entered a trade like recently. This is the same trade from last night off the open. SCGP, yeah. Looking to take one off here. I don't even know if the market will get here, but we'll see how we can manage it. And this is the weekly open. That's kind of what I'm looking at. Only issue I have doesn't mean ES won't trade lower, but it's just YM is already at the weekly open. But right now the trend is definitely bearish on the M5 chart. Thought you just entered long for a second. Oh no, yes. I see what you mean though. Got about 3 minutes here for the open. I will be pretty aggressive here on managing this. Just with how the markets have traded this week, I mean, I am not going to give back this this position here. What is that? 830. It's 830 high. I'm gonna wait a little bit. If we do get a drop to the weekly open, let me make sure I update this in the 682975. 68. Okay. I just don't know if this pushes it. I need to fix this. If the market does sell off and I take a partial here, I gotta make sure this sends out notifications to people. All right, we got about 1 minute here till the open. Preferably, I would just like to see the open melt lower. My dreams come true. That'd be best case scenario, and for ES to turn bearish on the week again for the third time this week. 30 seconds. $20. We do have some, I believe we have some news here at 10 potentially, I think. No, we had news at 8:30, unemployment claims. Nothing really came out of unemployment claims, came out pretty much as expected. So there's the open. Initial rally on tech. If we get like a big drop here on the 930, I'll put my stop above that open range there. Because I'm being very aggressive on managing this. Just with how the market's traded, I mean, it's just been very whipsaw back and forth in terms of like up and down this week. So NASDAQ, big 1 minute candle here. I hate whipsaw. I do too. Because you can be in... I want the NASDAQ to reject here so I can start moving this stop down. Moving 6853. I don't want to place anything just yet. Yeah, we'll place it there. So I'm getting out at 685-375. I just don't like how the market's not rejecting here. After running that swing high on the NASDAQ. Alright, we're out there. It's unfortunate, but I just don't want to be on the wrong side of this if this thing reverses all the way back up. Alright, let me go and post an update here. Exit close, exit price. What do we exit at? 6853. 6853. What time? 9:32. Close fully with a trailed stop from close fully with a trailed stop from the open. Go ahead and save that. Make sure this saves on the site. Not what I wanted to see, but I think that was a fine close. It could go lower. I mean, technically the 5 minute is still bearish. But that is not what I wanted to see. I want to see, did it... So MS short close, did the email get sent out? Yeah, it did. Okay, good. No, not bad. That'd be on the wrong side for sure, yeah. I mean, this is just what the market has done, and it's kind of frustrating. Like, I feel like it's done it the whole week, even last week. Like, I've been short. I mean, I made a profit, so I can't complain. And, yeah, I'm glad I got it. I mean, it's just still ripping. Off the open, I feel like the market has just ripped higher. So, like, if the market has sold off prior to the open, off on the open, it just shoots. Like, I think yesterday was a decent example of that. Like, not, I mean, kind of. Yesterday, you sold off on the open a little bit. So yesterday, well, off the open, actually, you traded higher. That 1 minute bar traded higher. But, like, let's look at another example. Like, I'm pretty sure this was an example, or was this the day that the market reversed? I mean, this is a market traded lower, but off the open just ripped higher. I was not surprised for myself. Yeah, no, I fully agree. Because markets are going to be very sensitive to any news you have. And like here, yeah, like here, look at this. This was on Monday's trading. Off open ripped higher, but then reversal move. But all right, whatever. So there's just the executions of it. 685, 375 is where we got out. Entered short back there. Wait, yeah, here. 688, 050. All right. I will see though if we can enter another trade. if anything piques my interest. But I'm glad that works. I'm glad it sends out an email. Let's go and look at it. What else we have going on? So obviously NASDAQ again. NASDAQ leading that strength there that we talked about. ES rallying as well. Russell rally but weak. Dow traded to the low. Or the Dow traded. So this is kind of what I want to see on the ES. We'll pull up the weekly candle on the Dow. Dow traded down to that weekly open there at 451. And that's what I was a little worried about with the Dow trading down to there. Maybe ES doesn't. Dow starts to rally. Overall markets start to rally. Tech leads that rally, and then ES obviously follows. Doesn't mean we can't trade lower, but right now it just does not look good for that. One thing I do want to highlight too, and this is something I talked about in one of the recent videos on the website. Look at the strength here on Bitcoin. I mean, the structure on Bitcoin looks pretty good compared to like the NASDAQ. So I talked about that relative strength. It doesn't mean Bitcoin trades all the way to 100K, but in terms of like a short-term strength, with Bitcoin already selling off a lot, heading into all of this stuff that's been going on with the uncertainty with AI and the war, Bitcoin has proven to kind of, I wouldn't say Bitcoin's the asset everybody's running into, but it's just an asset that's sold off so hard that it's rallying from this news. And then there's nothing really clear here on the 5-minute. So here on the 5-minute chart, I just don't see anything really here that's super clear. Obviously here you have ES, ran low of day. So I'll just mark out some annotations here. So that's the low of day on ES. Traded the low of day. I guess in hindsight, I should have taken one off at low of day. Probably should have taken a contract off at low of day. I keep laughing at people who think Bitcoin will go to zero. Yeah, well, Bitcoin, obviously, I don't think Bitcoin, I think the likelihood of Bitcoin going to zero is literally 0%, close to 0%. Obviously, Bitcoin is going to have its struggles. But I think over the long run, I do think Bitcoin probably trades higher. There's still a lot of uncertainty with like I don't know a lot about it. I'm not an expert in quantum computing, but apparently quantum computing potentially will have the ability to like hack into the Bitcoin code and change it. Obviously that's 30, 40 years down the line, but there's a lot of uncertainty with that. Now, do I know that's true? No. Could it be just be fear mongering? Potentially. But that is something that's, I would say, like a main threat to Bitcoin. I don't think Bitcoin ever goes to zero. Pretty big 1-minute candle here. Just nothing looks interesting here to me. Would I re-enter shorts? It's just hard because I've been very heavily on the short side the last 2 weeks, and it's been good to me. Obviously there's times I'm offside, but those are times it's going to survive. It's very hard trying looking along this market. I know when it comes to using charts, you shouldn't have your emotions attached to the charts, but it's just been, I don't know, hard to long this market. Fear monger people have been fear mongering Bitcoin Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I do think Bitcoin obviously. Do I think Bitcoin hits all time high this year? No. Do I think it hits all time high next year? I don't know. But I do think I think this is an opportunity to get into Bitcoin or to DCA into it. I don't think it's an opportunity though to buy Bitcoin and expect to be up in a month's time. So here's a 5-minute selling off, 1 minute trading back down. Here's your regular trading hours gap. So the market trading into that regular trading hours gap. I'm not against looking for shorts again. That's your low of day from the close to the open. Where this open at? Traded into like about 50% of the regular trading hours. Take a look at the NASDAQ here. Same here. A little bit. I just keep waiting for nice dip to get into and hold for the next few years to set when it's back over. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think Bitcoin will probably hit 100K at some point within maybe 2 or 3 years. Which that's a big move. Like a lot of people think that's 40%. That's a nice return. A lot of people think like 100K is right there. Like a lot of people think you'll get 100K next week, but like the market's just not going to move 40% after having this big move. You're going to have sellers that step in. So I wouldn't be surprised if this move gets sold off and you trade back inside the range. Like, but I do think it probably holds up better than your indices. But I do like that. I do think it's a good time to buy around 60K, and that's good. Obviously not financial advice. I mean, it's almost like every 3 or 4 years, new all-time high, followed by sell-off. Wait a few years, new all-time high, and sell-off. Yeah. Obviously, that does seem to be like the cycle. Obviously, it's always going to be different, right? Like this top we had here. You know, going back and like, obviously it's hindsight. We timed the top pretty much perfectly. But that just goes to show like you can be good with timing, and it all comes down to executing. I think I played some short side here, but I did not short this absolute top and then hold it all the way down here. So it just goes to show you the difference between good analysis and then good execution, or like really good execution. But I do think you probably get something like this. If I would have to imagine, I think you get a longer. I do think it's something like this. That's my guess. And I think you probably start to get some sort of rally. I move back down and then rally again. Probably heading into like, I don't know, late 2026, 2027. And then maybe you get to 100K and then it starts to go back down. It takes a few years to get back up to all-time highs. So there's ES selling back down here. We'll see if we can get into a potential another short. Here's the low of day on ES. To me, right now, it just looks like a retracing the regular trading hours gap, and then this seems to be potentially. I would want to see this be the high of the session here. If you're bearish, this is the high of the session. At least I would want to see. Don't know if there'll be an opportunity to get in here. Never exactly same, but with patience you get that general psych. Yeah, you do. It's all the in between that throws everybody off. Yeah. A lot of people that get into investing, they have the wrong idea with investing. They think you got to look at it every day. If you look at it every day when you're investing, you might as well try to trade. Even though I don't recommend trading, it's very hard. But if you're looking at it every day, there's no point of. You're just gonna mess yourself up if you're trying to invest. Just turn on automatic DCA payments to buy Bitcoin every start of the month or every bi-weekly and set and forget it. Dow made a new low today. You're big on 401k. It's easier to set and forget for and take money out of your check, and you don't look at it until. Yeah, exactly. That's where I think Bitcoin should be looked at. But it's just sadly, many people. Obviously, Bitcoin's still like a speculative asset, but it's like many people treat it too much like one, where they're like constantly looking at it and trying to like. They think if they buy it, they'll be up right away. Which I mean, Bitcoin. If you buy Bitcoin at the right time. Like if you have the perfect entry, which you're not always going to get, yeah, you may be up. Like if you buy Bitcoin during a bull run, obviously, yeah. But is Bitcoin in a bull run right now? No, I would say it is not. So that definitely is the way to go, especially now, like especially during the environment that the market is in right now. So let's go and turn this on. So we have the bar 4 here on the 5-minute time frame. So here's your bar 1, which is just 9:30 open on the 5-minute chart. So bar 4 has traded above bar 3. The NASDAQ bar has traded above, but way above bar 1. So this would be an area that if you want to be short, sellers would need to step in here. And I want to take a stab at something. It's just very. There isn't really anything super clean for me to do so. Yeah, I was like that back in 2012. I sold at break even. Had I said and forget. You bought Bitcoin in 2012? That is way earlier than I got into Bitcoin. When did you sell? Like, how'd that happen? Like, how'd you get into Bitcoin in 2012? This. I think I saw that movie. Is that like a? I'm pretty sure I saw. Oh, let me see. Yeah, I've seen this movie. This came out. Did this come out later though, or did they come out in 2012? I heard about it, see that, but I was like, nah, I don't know about us. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, you pretty much heard about it when it obviously came out in like 2008, like or close to 2009. But that's crazy. You heard about it when it came out. That's actually crazy. I don't blame you. I mean, if I heard something like that when it came out, I'd be like, I don't know either. You know, 2012, May 23. I just remember like, oh crap, Bitcoin, I remember that. Okay, so you heard about it 2009, saw the movie later on. You're like, okay, let me buy this. Yeah. Were you in like drawdown? Like, were you in drawdown? Like, did you like enter, and then like you were in drawdown, and when it came back up to break even, is that when you got out of it, or what made you get out at break even? Nasdaq still pushing here. Oil up 4%. Is oil at a new? Yeah, oil had a new high. Who's our way to buy his Cosmo for dirt cheap, and he told me about Bitcoin, but unfortunately that's the only reason he ever had Bitcoin. He also no longer has it. So did he like get out? Or so he only bought Bitcoin for that? Yeah, when I bought it, it was immediately going down. It came up. Okay, I got you. That's how it goes sometimes. I've been there too. Sometimes that still happens. Like with my trading, like I'm in short, and you know you manage it a certain way, and it just stops you out and goes in your direction. Nothing you can do about it. Okay. Have you had conversations with him, like recently or the last few years, about it? Nasdaq still pushing. I need to turn off my ice machine. Shit is annoying. He always says if he just left a few dollars he had left, or he'd be a rich chef. Yeah, no, he would be. How much did he have in it? Like probably $50, $100. Obviously, that would have turned into a lot. But I feel like obviously we think that way, but no rational thinking person would hold on to that long, like today. Like, no, if you do that, the only way that would happen is if you would have forgotten about it. I feel like I don't think no normal human being would hold on to that. To 100K. And one of the ways I know that is you see this guy, he talks about, this guy had a popular video. Let me actually look it up. And I find it hilarious. What's the video called? Like I think it's this. This guy right here, like this guy's like a huge. He was telling people to buy $1 Bitcoin back in 2013,
Hi everyone, it's been a while since I did a video.
and he does not have Bitcoin. Like he does not have Bitcoin. Like he does so many like ads for like scam projects, and he promotes like meme coins. It's like, well, if you put $1 in Bitcoin and you still had it, I don't think you would be be promoting that stuff. So that just goes to show, like, people can say buy Bitcoin, have money in Bitcoin, but they're not going to hold on to it. Clearly, he didn't. He probably sold at he probably took a lot. You got out break even. I'm pretty sure this guy probably took a loss on Bitcoin. But that video got so much views because of him saying buy $1 Bitcoin back in 2013 that he's just making a living off that and promoting stuff. Yep. Can't. Don't need a player hit the game. It's all about surviving. So, yeah, I saw that video when I saw it already. Yeah. And no matter night. Night. Mad. See. Okay, we got a new hourly candle in 3 minutes. I would want this to present something maybe to enter off of, but it just looks like the market. I mean, Nasdaq's trading above. This is London high on the Nasdaq here, so see what happens if market gets there. Trading above that 720 high. ES obviously way further off, but trending higher. Here's a 5-minute swing. So, I mean, higher looks good for now. I guess that's good we got out. I mean, I really should have taken one off at low day. That's definitely a mistake I made. Should have taken off one at 6, 8, 40, 50. But doesn't matter. Let's go and look at the Nasdaq here. London high. We'll just make over here. That's high a day too, right? Or no? No, it's not. What's high a day? That's 7:15. Watch out, boys. Don't you up. The only people who truly held for this long either sold partials. Yeah, I agree. Or completely forgot about Bitcoin or lost their USB and then found it again. Yeah, 100% agree. Like you just wouldn't, or unless you're not human. Like it just wouldn't make sense. Like humans are programmed since the beginning of humans existing to not, I guess, let things go against them, so that will hurt their survival. So if they're up a decent amount of money, that changes their life in a way, not change their life, but helps them do something in their life to maybe buy stuff that they need, like necessities, food, pays for stuff, they're going to take it. They're not going to wait for Bitcoin to go to 100K. That's not what they're thinking about. They're thinking about they're surviving. So I agree. Like what you said is definitely right. If they sold partials, then they have less of that feeling of, oh, if this goes against me, I could lose, whatever. Or unless you were mega rich. I guess that's the other one. If you're just mega rich and it just doesn't matter. But usually mega rich people are like delusional. In some sense. But maybe that's why they're mega rich. NQ getting to London High here. There we go. NQ touching the London High. This was, and like in hindsight, this is a clean, setup. This was your low of day here on the S. And then you got a retracement back down into that initial move down into the low of day. And you retrace pretty much into like 0.618, it looks like. Yeah, right here. The low of day, big move, retrace into 0.62. Take you up to, you would take yourself up to like London High, but since NQ's already at London High, it would just be a little hard to get there. I think the only people who truly held for this long, that would be like a breaker block, right? That tapped into this right here. I guess like on the 1 minute, potentially like would be something like that. Kind of. I would say it's more like a demand zone slash, if you want to call it order block, whatever you want to call it. Like these candles here. So traded into that low of day. Traded to the 62% retracement, and then into these two down close candles here, and then you rallied. They call, I just know this scams a lot of people. Yeah, exactly. There's so many names for it. It's all the same stuff. No. There's just so many names for it nowadays. Sorry for the Discord notifications. Let me actually go into Do Not Disturb. Nasdaq's 0.15. Russell's still down. The Dow's still looking weak. Dropping back down here. I'm going to take a stab at a short here in a second. Just with this, it's just so hard to like place a stop that makes sense. Turning back up. 1 minute chart still bullish here on the Nasdaq. Technically, you're still bullish on the ES, but a lot weaker. I may enter short if this 5 minute bar flips bearish, which is bar number 9. And look for a move back underneath like the opening, the 9:30 open. I'm going to enter short here if this bar flips bearish. And we'll take a stab at this. And then we'll look for a move. All right, we're in short here. And we'll look for a move down to the 930 open. Stop. We'll place it above like 6865. There should be enough room for it if we're going to get a move lower. I just wouldn't want to see a big spike. I want to see this 5-minute bar trade lower. So rejection at the London high. If this trade doesn't work out, still up on the day, giving back some gains, but it's kind of the only thing I really see right now. And we'll be pretty aggressive with managing this one. I'll remove this for now, just see how the market reacts if we get down there. Let me post this. Not getting that move lower. Looks like 5 minutes gonna make a swing here. So it looks like this one will be a losing trade. We got an initial reaction, just didn't get any follow through, didn't make a new low from the previous 5-minute bar, so it's looking more bullish and bearish here. It's a 1-minute chart. All right, stopped out there. All right, I'm gonna call it there. I just don't want to long this market with Nasdaq at London high. In hindsight, longs looked good here at like 945. There's something I didn't catch. We caught the short side. Tried to re-enter short off the break of or the flip of the 10:10 a.m. candle. That went bearish. Got an initial reaction, but failed to make a new low and trading back up. So that's just how it goes sometimes. Up on the day, sadly gave back some gains there. I just don't know if I want to take one more stab at it. It's one of those days, yeah. Like, I still think we trade lower. It's just the market is just being very green is green, yeah. Market's just being very. The longs were good. The shorts both were good. The shorts were good and the longs were good. It's just you get a downside move that looks good and then it just goes back in the other direction and then flips again. Just flips back and forth. See, like this. It's like the move higher looked good, but then traded back down. Maybe I should have had a little wider stop. I may look to take a stab at this one more time. Just because I'm like so confident in it. But let me look at what YM is doing here. Is YM selling off? Yeah, YM, Russell. Don't ditto in the middle. I always find that area I like to go back and forth. Yeah, that's a good saying. I never heard of that. Did you come up with that? Nasdaq. Nasdaq's looking a little weaker, like in terms of like the 5-minute candles here. I just don't know if I want to trade M&Q right now. Both of them came down, traded beneath the prior 2 5-minute bars. Now this guy I used to watch would always say it when he lost money in that area. It stuck with me, yeah. It's a good saying. Super scalps in like 30 second trades, like 30, 50 trades during the first 30 minutes. I used to do, well, probably not extreme as that, but I just couldn't do it because I feel like I would always like flip flop and I'd be very inconsistent. But that works for some people. It just doesn't work for me. I'm re-entering short here on the S&P. I like the reaction. This will be the last stab that we'll take. Stop loss. It's just with this, it's so hard to put a stop loss because I mean I just have to put it above this swing high here. This may not be the greatest RO trade. That's just where it has to go right now. And we'll look for low day here on the NASDAQ. Yeah, try to once have some success with long-term and stop falling rules. That's exactly what happened to me. Like, I would have success with it. Like, I entered a bunch of trades. There was one time I counted the trades I took in a trading day. I'm pretty sure it was like 40 to 50 trades. And, like, just going back, and that was one of the days where, like, I blew up my account. This was like 2-3 years ago. And I looked over the trades, and I'm like, when you look over them after, it's like, why did I even take these trades? Like, what is wrong with me? But it does work for some people. Some people do like scalping, and they just kind of play the momentum. It's just hard for me because I like managing my positions based off kind of the structure I'm seeing. And usually the structure is a little more clearer on like the 5-minute chart and above. So it's a lot harder for me as like if I'm scalping to manage that. And it just creates a lot of stress, and under stress it's a lot harder. To trade. Because you'll make stupid decisions. So again, ES low of day is down here. The opening, ES did come down to the equities open. So we got exactly what we wanted to see. It's just the market had that one move here. And that's what stopped us out of the initial short. He said some of that as well. He said something, but he stuck to it. I guess build over. You have to have super self-control, which I don't have. Yeah, I agree. Does he still do it? Like, have you kept up with him? Does he still do all that? I don't know if he like streams or what he does. Makes videos or. It's just very hard to scout for me. I don't know, because you're also competing with, not like, it's a whole different ball game when you're competing with like high frequency traders, like people that actually have the technology to have more of an edge than you. I feel like with scalping it's just a lot harder, like when you're on the 15-30 second chart, because one, you got to be using a lot more size, and if things, I don't know, I don't know. I just personally never found something that I was able to cling on to. Dun, 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 dun. NASDAQ selling off pretty aggressively. ES making a new low of day here. Hourly chart. It's just, there's nothing to, I just hate this because it's just so hard. There's like nothing for me to target here. I don't usually like having targets, but I'm going to start trailing this pretty aggressively. I would like to see this 1 minute just continue to trade lower. And I'll put my stop above like a 1 minute bar and just trail it like that. Is about to get high. Come on, keep printing lower. Go NASDAQ, go. New low on the NASDAQ. I'm about to place this here in a second. All right, trailing it there. Just makes it back. Previous loss was a little more if we goes lower. Nasdaq's making lower. I mean, it's trading lower. ES really isn't trading with the Nasdaq right now. ES is looking to bottom out there, so I'll get out there. It's not bad. We'll call it there. Makes psychological more than anything. He has a he has a psychology major who got into trade. He will post about every now and then with his statements or P&Ls win or loss, but even those videos are something so you can speak on psychology. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, psychology is a big part of trading. In itself, I mean, it can be its own edge. Obviously, you gotta have like a trading edge backed up with data, but like, okay, you can have the strongest mindset in the world, but if you don't know how to trade, it doesn't really help. But it does play a very big part in trading. You cannot be emotional within trading. You will absolutely blow up. All right. It looks like I will call it there. So up on the day, I had a win. The initial win that I posted on the site. Took a stab at another short. That one got stopped out. Here. I guess maybe I should have had my stop a little higher. But with this price action, so there's just not a lot of structure here. So I was just placing my stop above like the 5-minute bar that was created. Got stopped out there, re-entered short, and then covered down here. So not a bad trading day. NASDAQ traded up to the London high, selling off from there. So could we see continuation lower? Potentially. I'll look to align myself with that, like in the higher time frame. Nothing really clear on the 4-hour. Again, like I said, in the last few market outlooks, I do think overall we're headed lower. Right idea, wrong stop, yeah. That happens a lot. But I'd rather that happen a lot than me kind of be wrong side and not have a stop loss. There are occasions where I have a trade and I don't place a stop. Because I do think sometimes having a stop loss in certain situations actually can like hurt your edge. Which is why trading is difficult, yeah. You can have the right idea where the market's going to go, but if your execution isn't good, it's not going to be great. All right, we will wrap it up there. Does that kind of all make sense, I guess, to you, Hazim, and I guess I don't know if anybody else is in here. But does that kind of make sense in terms of trading for today? I guess the short from earlier, and then the other short we got stopped out on, and then that short. NASDAQ being at London high, rejecting. ES kind of being the weaker market here, failing to get to London high. Yeah, it does. Okay, good. Just want to make sure. Still selling off here. I guess what I will watch and what I'll look to trade, I guess, to end off the week tomorrow. My guess, I'm gonna take a wild guess tomorrow. I'm gonna take a wild guess today closes bearish, and tomorrow we get a continuation day. So that's kind of what I'm going to look for tomorrow, is look for a continuation bearish day. I would look for kind of your previous daily lows. You have your low of week down here on ES at 6718. I don't know if you get there, but low of week I would watch to see if ES can get back down to low week. And that is going to be my bias for tomorrow. Keep in mind the markets really haven't moved anywhere, so like I think it's important to zoom out once in a while and understand, like, don't get too aggressive on a bias. If we look at the year to date, ES is only down 7.76 year to date. Dow's only down 0.77. Nasdaq down 1.11%. So bigger picture, the markets really haven't moved anywhere this year. Haven't moved anywhere really within the last few months. So like the price action has been more of a consolidation. That's kind of what I've been selling into these rallies, because it's been more of a consolidation market. But don't get overly aggressive on being bullish or overly aggressive on being bearish. The markets have not moved anywhere year to date, and that's why I think it's severely important to kind of zoom out and look at what the market's really doing. A lot of uncertainty. We can see that by the weekly candle. Wick to the upside, wick to the downside. Nasdaq holding up a lot better, given, I guess, the market. It's kind of a monopoly at the end of the day, so tech is going to have more of a... There's a fly that's annoying me. More of an edge in surviving during uncertainty with all the money they have. So, all right, that's going to wrap it up here. Appreciate you guys for all coming by. And if you have any more questions, DM me on Twitter, or you can sign up to the website down below in the description, and you can message me on here. Again, I post my live trades, and you get notifications on the site, and you also get them sent to your email. And then there's a live P&L tracker with all my charts that I post with the trades on here. All right, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys maybe tomorrow, potentially tomorrow. You as well. Hope you have a good day. Appreciate you for coming by.